mountains. All let your moon come shining into our lives again. Ooh, it's been a long time since I got this message for you, girl. But it seems I was never on time. Still you gotta get through to you, girl, on time, on time. I wanna give you some love. I wanna give you some good loving. Oh, I wanna give you some good loving. Yeah, turn lights the low. Never try to resist, oh no. Only just love come shining, yeah, into our lives again. Ooh, I love you, baby. And I want you to know right now. Ooh, say I love you, baby. And I want you to know right now. The right. I wanna give you some love. I wanna give you some good loving. Oh, I wanna give you some good loving, yeah. Don't you take my life for granted, my life for granted, for granted. Don't you take my love, everything that you ever wanted, it's yours, access granted, girl, for granted. Don't you take my love, give you everything all you want. Everything that you need, girl. But I beg you off one thing, girl. Don't you take my love for granted, my love for granted, girl, for granted. Don't you take my love and everything that you ever want, girl, it's yours. Access granted, girl, for granted. in Africa. Sing my song, music Africana. I was born in Africa. Sing my song, music Africana. I was born to sing. I feel the music is in the drums. I was born to sing. I feel the sound is singing in my nerves. Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, 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 yeah, whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was born in Africa. Sing my song, music Africa. Music
Good evening to all of you, or good afternoon in a sunny Kampala. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. I just would like to recognize again Dr. Hughes Pierre Gacho Waka Waka from the US, who's here. Can you stand up for recognition, please? Dr. Grace Kaboyo, Secretary General, has not arrived yet, but she's also on her way, of Pan-African Women's Association. We're expecting her today. And also Ambassador Dr. Tony Jaja, who's also here as well. Thank you all for coming. I want to recognize you all in your various capacities. I also want to recognize Joji Gozi from NBS TV. I also want to recognize Jafar Amin, who's just arrived. So we're going to be in very, very good company, very good company. I want you to look next to the person next to you, yeah? Look at their clothing. See if they're wearing an African attire. Just look carefully at the person seated next to you. Are they wearing an African attire? This is Pan-Africanism. We don't want to be sellouts. I'll be talking to those who today deliberately did not wear an African attire. Maybe they're telling us something. You never know. So we're going to continue the band for the next 10 or so minutes, then we'll get started. Thank you so much.
Won't you ever sing these songs of freedom? It's all I've ever had. Redemption song. Redemption song. Oh.
I'd also like to recognize the arrival of Dr. Grace Kaboyo, Secretary General of the Pan-African Women's Association as well.
no offense. While we stand aside and you, some said just about all we. We've got to fulfill. Won't you ever sing this song of freedom? It's all I've ever read. Redemption song, redemption song. That's right. Yeah, redemption song, redemption song. Yeah, yeah. You mustn't put yourself in the display. Now yourself has been free all night. I don't feel when you're making a cheat. It's not the time. I'll show you like prophet. The world will stay inside and look up. So serious, just I'll be. We've got to fulfill the rules. Won't you ever sing? Yeah, this song's of freedom. So I'll yeah, redemption song, redemption song, redemption song, redemption song,
I'd also like to recognize Mr. Azhar. He is the proprietor of Fairway Hotel, where we are today. Can you have a round of applause, please? We just want to welcome all of you in your various capacities. We shall be getting started shortly. So if you can kindly get seated. I would like to thank the band for a fantastic job so far done. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
Once we get started, I'm going to ask you kindly to silence your phones. If there's some seats that are close by or are quite empty, you can also move ahead, please. But we expect a full house. Many people are still on their way. Thank you all for coming. We want to also recognize our various sponsors. So I'll be letting you know who our sponsors are shortly. You have the program on your table, so you can go through it as well. I just want to really recognize all of us who are here who've kept time. Time is money. Yeah, time, and you can see everybody who's on the high table was here time. I hear Dr. Sudhir came here, he was first to come. That shows. That shows. Yeah, people make a lot of money, respect time. So we will be starting in the next 5-10 minutes or so, and we shall have a great event. I just want to remind you that today we're talking about the importance of Pan-Africanism. Africa is the next biggest frontier, if you didn't know. If you're making investments and you haven't invested in Africa, especially, I think Dr. Waka Waka, who's from the US, if you've not made a personal investment in Africa, you should do so now. We have all the resources, we have the manpower, we have the climate, we have the virgin terrain. Where else to make a great impact other than here in Africa? So I'm going to kindly ask all the ushers to usher in everybody who might be outside to kindly come and get seated. And we'll be starting the next 10 minutes. The band shall play us out for the next 10 as we get ready. Thank you.
Revelation, Jerusalem, Shalom, yeah, Salam Alaikum. You can see Christian, Jews and Muslim living together and pray, amen. Let's give thanks and praises, yeah. You can see Christian, Jews and Muslim living together and pray, amen. Let's give thanks and praises.
Can we have a heartier Pan-African applause? Can we also take this opportunity as well to stand up, stand to our feet, because we're going to have the anthems. It's time those who are on their way will join us where we are, so can we kindly can we officially stand? We're going to have the Ugandan anthem and then the East African anthem in that order. Thank you.
Afrika Mashariki tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tulilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Uzalendo pia mshikamano iwe msingi wa umoja wetu, na tulinde uhuru na amani, mila zetu na desturi zetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tulilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Tuungane sote na tusherehekee pamoja ushindi wa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
A very good evening, comrades. Just like it was done in the ancient Africa, when elders or communities gathered together under the moon, they recited the African libation.
So I think we can pause it there.
On the ancestors.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can take your seats, please. And then we shall continue with the video, but kindly take your seats, please. Yeah, we can continue, please.
When I look at Africa, many questions come to mind. Many times I ask myself, what would happen if Mwalimu were to rise up and see what is happening? Many times I ask myself, what would happen if I were to do my peace and remember what rise up and see what is happening? Because what they will be confronted with is an Africa where the Democratic Republic of Congo is unsettled. There is a war going on there, but it's not on the front pages of our newspapers because we don't even control our newspapers and the media. As I speak to you, the Central African Republic is at war, but we talk of it only mutedly. As I speak to you now, in South Sudan, the youngest nation in Africa, the men are beaten against the Dinka. As I speak to you now, Eritrea is unsettled. As I speak to you now, there is an ease in Egypt and there is an ease in Libya. In Niger, it is no better. In Senegal, in the Casamance, it is no better. In Somalia, it is no better. Africa is at war with herself. This is what they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an Africa which statistician and romantic economists say is growing, but which in truth is stagnated. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an African which, as Professor Lama intimated in our presentation here, is an African which is suffering from schizophrenia. He does not know herself. They will be confronted with an African whose young men and women have no interest and no love for their continent. They will be confronted with an Africa where young men and young women are constantly humiliated at the embassies of European countries and at the United States of America as they seek the almighty green card. They will be confronted with an Africa where young men and women from Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, and Mauritania drown in the Mediterranean as they seek to be enslaved in Europe. This time round, Africans are not wailing and kicking as they are being taken away to be enslaved. They are being seen wailing and kicking as they seek to be enslaved in Europe and America. This is the tragedy of Africa. They'll be confronted with an Africa where people have lost their self-pride. An Africa where Africans are not proud of their things. An Africa where the hotel of Dar es Salaam or Nairobi, even food has foreign names. When we fry potatoes, we call them French fries, even when they are fried in Dar es Salaam. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with another Africa. An Africa which does not tell her story. An Africa whose story is told by Europe and America, the CNN, Radio Deutsche Welle, Radio France. That is the Africa they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with the young men and women who have no pride in Africa. When they want to enjoy themselves, they sing the praises of football teams from Europe and America. It is Manchester United. It is Arsenal. It is Real Madrid and Barcelona, not Young, not Musulira Wanderers, not Gor Mahia, not FC Leopards. No. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an Africa which does not enjoy theater and drama. That Africa celebrates Leonardo DiCaprio. It celebrates Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. The Africa does not celebrate Genevieve Nnaji of Nigeria or Rita Dominic or Jacob of Nigeria. It does not celebrate God. We celebrate Hollywood. That is the Africa which they would be confronted. They would be confronted with African women whose greatest source of joy is keep great being Mexican, so off the opera, La Mujer de mi vida, the source of pride. Why must we be mindful of these realities? Because throughout the ages, the battle has always been the battle of the mind. And if your mind is conquered, then you are going nowhere. That is why in the age of enlightenment in Europe, the great René Descartes said, "Cogito ergo sum," I think, therefore I am. And therefore, if Africans are to begin to make a contribution in their affairs, Africans must begin to think. But the question is, are we thinking? We have universities in their numbers. Tanzania has universities including Dar es Salaam. Nairobi has universities as indeed Kampala, as indeed South Africa, Johannesburg. We have all these universities. We have engineers. But our roads are not being made by Tanzanian civil engineers. It is the Chinese who are present in this assembly who are making our roads. Who cannot even make roads. We have doctors who are trained. But when we are sick, particularly if we are of the political class, depending on who colonized you, if you are colonized by the United Kingdom, you rush to London. If you are colonized by the French, you rush to Paris. If you are colonized by the Portuguese, you rush to Lisbon. And if you are colonized by the Spaniards, you rush to Madrid, Spain. And recently, because the Asians are beginning to get their act together, we run to India. And very lately, because the Arabs are also beginning to get their act together, we run to Dubai. Notwithstanding that we have the Kenyatta hospitals of this country, the Muhimbilis of Tanzania, the Chris Hani Baragwanaths of South Africa, and the Mama Yemos of Kinshasa and Zaire, of the Democratic Republic of Congo. But we have no faith in our doctors. In the area of education, we also don't have faith. Our political class introduced something that they call free education, that is free indeed, free of knowledge. Of those institutions, that the typical African politician would not dare take their children to those schools. Their children will be educated in the British system, in the American system, so that when they graduate, they go to the United Kingdom, to the United States, not to the but the agenda is wrong because our leaders now lost the script and ought to be described for who they are, our misleaders. But we are co-authors of our own misfortune. Whenever we are given an opportunity to elect our leaders, we are given a blank check. And if you give me a blank check and you allow me to analogize, and you say that I'm given the blank check to buy a Mercedes-Benz, what we do is that when we are called upon, having been so empowered, we buy what one calls a tuk-tuk from India and expect it to behave like a Mercedes-Benz. How does that happen? Because what we do is to elect thieves. We elect hyenas to take care of goats, and when the goats are consumed, we wonder why.
Now, on one side, you have Asian economies in Africa. On the other side, and I think Africa has a far better opportunity of growth than already this economy we are talking about. And I am a small player in it. And I continue to play my role for as long as I'm here on this planet. Of course, after that, my children will continue. And if anybody is looking to expand or have a vision and want to put it into practice, Africa is an opportunity for you. Whether it's mining, whether it's agriculture, whether it's industry. Honestly, I've never seen the potential as much as I see in Africa now and in the future. We have an ever young population, readily available to complement your business and anything you want to do in Africa. So really, if I was you and I'm thinking of an opportunity, the place to be is in Africa with 1.5 billion people. How can you go wrong?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can we have a hearty round of applause, please, for those videos, please? I'd just like to take this opportunity to recognize yet again some of our key guests who are here. Our chief guest, Dr. Sudhir, Honorary Consul of Nepal to Uganda, Your Excellency. I'd also like to recognize Bishop Joshua Maponga, keynote speaker. Everyone knows Bishop Joshua. You can stand up for recognition. I'd like to also welcome Dr. Grace Kaboya, Secretary General, Pan-African Women's Association, and also Presidential Advisor on Special Duties. I'd also like to recognize Ambassador Dr. Tony Jaja. I'd also like to recognize Dr. Hughes Pierre Ngachwo, Waka Waka from the US. Also here with us is Toro Crown Prince David Kijanangoma Arai. Can you also have a round of applause, please? We're in the company of royalty this afternoon. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Joe Chigozi, Deputy Group CEO of Next Media Services, as well as Vice Chairman of National Association of Broadcasters. He's also here with us. I'd also like to recognize Honorable Nestor Larry, Assistant RCC of Fort Portal, who is also here with us. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Kashaya James, Assistant RCC of Hoima. I would also like to recognize Ms. Jasmine Halani of the Indian Women's Association. We have to make a special mention for all the sponsors who've made this possible today. NBS TV, Fairway Hotel, SPY Uganda, Indoja Uganda, Pan-African Women Organization, or POW. Can we kindly have a hearty round of applause for all of us? Before I call upon the welcoming remarks, please look the person next to you. Tell him or her you look smart. If you're wearing an African outfit, no, there's a disclaimer here. If you're wearing an African outfit, yeah, they look very smart. But if they happen to be wearing the clothes of the colonialist, huh? If they happen to be wearing the clothes of the colonialist, you tell them, sell out. Sell out, huh? Yeah, no, like you saw in the video clips, yeah, there's a lot of ways in which Africa can be promoted. The most important way in which we can promote Africa is through culture and through our attire and fabric. You know, when you go to Paris, when they tell you they're going to Paris, yeah, they make sure that the various brands, be it Dior, be it Yves Saint Laurent, be it Gucci, are all there for you to see. That's what they represent. So when people come here, they should be able to see our attires, they should be able to see our culture, they should be able to see what it is that makes us Africans and makes us great. So that is extremely important. At this juncture, as we start our function, I'd like to invite Dr. Grace Kaboya, Secretary General of Pan-African Women Organization and Presidential Advisor on Special Duties, for her welcoming remarks. Please can she have a hearty round of, a Pan-African round of applause. You know, I always heard that Pan-African people are invigorated, they're strong, they're optimistic. Doctor, can you kindly come up, please? Dr. Grace, like I said, is the Secretary General of Pan-African Women Organization and Presidential Advisor on Special Duties.
Learning never stops. Thank you very much, our smartly dressed, eloquent director of today. Our chief guest of honor, Your Excellency, Dr. SR, like you're famously known, Honorary Consul of the Republic of Nepal, the hub of socio-economic positive change in Uganda and elsewhere. My brother, Bishop Maponga, Dr. Tony, Dr. Waka Waka, our host here today, and Brother Irumba. The representatives of the Toro Kingdom and any other kingdom that might be here. My sister, advisor, senior advisor to SS. Allow me to stand on the existing protocol here, lest I make some mistakes. But allow me to recognize my Ghanaian sons who are here, who are part of our guests, Peter and Nana, and another very important guest here, Irumba, whom you've not met, but the person who makes me tick and enables me is Dr. John Patrick Caballo. The other side of me. Mine is a very simple job today, and it is to welcome you. Lakini ningependa sana kuongea kwa lugha yetu. Karibuni nyinyi nyote. Asante sana. That is the African way. When my brother here talked about me giving the welcome remark, I was humbled. Because true, as a mother and a woman of Africa, you would have felt my welcome through the food, but I'm sure you will. And some other gentleman would have done the welcoming, but he has trusted me to welcome you on his behalf. I hope I'll do it well. I cannot go down without appreciating why we are here. And Comrade Irumba, thank you very, very much for persisting, consistency. Those who have worked with you, I cannot ignore them. And I'm so happy I'm not really overpraising my brother, Dr. Sudhir. Most people know him in terms of business, making money. But he also is the host of the Pan-African Peace Hub, which we created in Munyonyo during the AU Summit. And I want to thank you for having kept it well. We might need to change a few of things, but I'll reach out to you after this. The Pan-Africanism in people, you see it in the real life, your day-to-day life, like my sister here said. Walk Pan-Africanism, talk Pan-African, eat Pan-African. That is the only way we can highlight ourselves. That is the only way we can recognize ourselves before we recognize others. That is the only way they will recognize you, because who are you? As we settle down to enjoy each other's company, but also learn, my welcome remark is as simple as be African. I think my welcome remark should not be longer than that, since I have other responsibilities. Lakini asante sana, mumekaribishwa. Mkae, mfurahi, mzungumze, mjijuane nyinyi nyote. Asante sana.
Asante sana. Asante sana Dr. Grace Kaboyo kwa hiyo speech yako. Ilikuwa nzuri sana. I can also speak some Swahili as well. I don't just speak English, I also speak Swahili. I speak a little Amharic. I speak a little Chui. So at this juncture, I just want to recognize those of you who are not from Uganda. I know you're going to stand up and you're just going to come up here to me and tell us how you say hello in your languages. I will start with the gentleman from Ghana, please. You choose one of you, then I will start with one gentleman there, I think in the Nigerian outfit. Then I will also have our brothers and sisters who are Pan-African and dressed Pan-African. So can we start with, I would like to know how to say hello in Twi. You just come here, because in Africa, the biggest problem with Africa is that we are divided. Can you imagine, if I'm to fly to Paris, let's say, I can get a direct flight from Kampala to Paris. Not so? Not so? Members, I can't hear you. Yes. I quickly go into my first class and I'm in Paris. But if I'm to go to Accra, and this is now where the irony of it all is, I have to go from Kampala to Nairobi, from Nairobi to Addis, from Addis to Accra. And then when I get to Accra, I have to have a visa to enter Accra. Between this gentleman and myself, if we're walking on the street, you would not know that we're not from the same country. So I think those are the things, and I think that's what the Pan-African movement must address. So, very quickly, for us here, we say Habari, Wimutia, Oriotia, that's it. Kowachi, yeah, Kopongo, Avignon, yeah. I know quite a few languages. So how do you say hello in Twi or in Ghanaian?
Akwaba. Yamamunina Akwaba.
Thank you, Akwaba. And he's also wearing the if I'm not mistaken, the national outfit?
Yes, this is from the northern part of Ghana, which I am not from, though, but in promoting Pan-Africanism, every culture in Africa is your culture. So that's what I'm promoting.
Thank you so much. So we've learned something today. Sir, please. How do you say hello in Ghanaian? Akwaba. That's another thing in Africa we have to always remember. Akwaba. Excuse me, sir, please.
I am from the Yoruba tribe. My name is Oluwatosin Abraham. In the Yoruba language, we say Bawoni. Bawoni means how are you? We say Shalafialewa, meaning are you in peace? Are you happy? Happy to be here.
Very nice. And Nollywood, for those of you who really watch Nollywood movies, most of them are from Yoruba, from the Yoruba tribe. The Yoruba people are very good, very artistic when it gets to that. Sir, please, who's in an African attire. Then also, sir, over there, please. We are all African.
Hello, everybody. Where I'm from initially, Germany, I've been more than 20 years at Keynote.
Okay. Danke schön. Was machst du gerne in deiner Freizeit? Das ist sehr gut, das ist sehr gut. Sir?
In French we say bonjour, but I've been adopted by South Africans and they would say Uchani. I would say Uchani to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. At this juncture, as Africans, and I think Bishop Makopa let us know, that through the years, we have kept our secrets in poems. We've kept our secrets in stories. So today, I'd like to call upon Dennis Ojera from the United Kingdom to kindly give us his poem.
Greetings. My name is Dennis Ojera. I've been asked to put up the mic. It's working. That's better. So I feel really honored to be up here today and to be a part of what's going on here today. I've been asked to share some words of encouragement to start the proceedings, as it were. before I do that, I've also been asked to kind of introduce myself a little bit. So I am from Gulu, originally, but I live in the UK now, and I've been there for quite a long time. And I did all my education over there. I have recently discovered that I could actually write poems. So I'm the author of one of these. It's called Illuminate Within. And I have some copies with me for you to also have a look and potentially buy if you would like. These have been published in UK, but I'm here to introduce this to Uganda as well. Why did I write this book called Illuminate Within? First of all, from my background as a teacher, I also work with mental health, and it occurred to me that mental health, there was such a big problem around mental health, and I seek to address some of these issues. This is my way of doing that, by offering a therapeutic content, thought-provoking content, which the literature itself can be very useful for educational material, which can be studied in schools context. So I'm gonna, if anybody wants to check these out, they'll be outside on the site there. So if you want to talk to me later, that's all very well. So I'm gonna first of all go back a little bit and say welcome to all the esteemed guests and everyone here. I'm really honored to be here, as I said. So just bear with me now. So, a word of encouragement. Join me now. Come with me on this journey of finding the only path back to the lands of Ubuntu. Let us stand tall together in unity and solidarity. Together, we are strong, robust, and unstoppable. Be not in doubt, for amongst us, wisdom reigns forevermore. Let us put aside our differences and any fear of each other. Let us drop ego, self-hatred, jealousy, nepotism, and all other negative energies that has the potential to lead us astray. Belittle not any brother or sister. Welcome them instead with open hands, such that they may also be encouraged and motivated to join hands, for we are all on the same journey, being led by the spirits of our great ancestors. Onwards and upwards, let us march together, gallantly in celebration of that which makes us truly unique, a symbol of hope and diversity, coupled with an abundance of untapped potential, and cultures most vibrant, united by the principles of Ubuntu, saying, I am because of who we are. As capable as we are, let us not be under any illusion, for our journey together will not be easy, but possible it will be, provided we are willing and ready to collaborate, such that we may be able to unlock the mystery leading to the lands of Ubuntu, so that through this, our journey, we may be our true selves, and in doing so, be more intentional, work smartly, collaboratively, whilst uplifting and nurturing the less abled amongst us. For we are like an ecosystem. Not only do we depend on our environment, but also depend on each other. Let us therefore ensure that no one is left behind as we march toward onwards and upwards in the full glory of time. When all is said and done, and the changing seasons fade, in the lands of Ubuntu, we shall find that place where serenity reigns supreme.
Thank you very much. I think what is very poignant about that poem is that together, let's do away with those small nuances that oftentimes do not make us who we are. And that, you know, that brings me to another point, and I know it will be raised when we, later on when there is a discussion here. How do we portray Africa? How do we portray ourselves? And now in the advent of social media, you know, I was somewhere and somebody asked me, why does your country promote poverty? And I said, what do you mean? Why does your country promote poverty? And they explained. They said, whenever we see clips from Uganda, you see young children dancing, they're in a poverty-stricken area. You see people who are doing comedic strips, they're in a poverty-stricken area. Isn't that true? As Africans, you know, in China, there is no way that you can represent your country in a way that is not respectful. So I think as Africans, we need to be deliberate. When we do things, when we post things, let's make sure that they're in the best interest, not just of ourselves, but of our continent. Why would you show someone badly dressed? Why would you show litter all over the street? There's also litter in London. But you never see those kind of pictures. When you on CNN, on BBC, you never see those kind of pictures of their societies. So why should we do the same as well? Let us make sure that we promote good aspects of our society. At this juncture, I'd like to call upon the man himself, the speaker of the Pan-African Pyramid. He has many, many titles. He's a founding speaker and chairman of the Pan-African Pyramid. He's a president of the Independent Online Journalists Association of Uganda. He's a CEO of the Spine Uganda and Detective UG. And he's a chairman of Nyabiri Foundation. Without further ado, can we give a hearty Pan-African applause to the man himself, Mr. Andrew Obonga. You know, this man believes in Pan-Africanism. If there should be a president of Africa, that's of course after President Museveni, then it should be Irumba. Huh? Then it should be Irumba.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin with a poem before I go into my speech. Pan-Africanism, environmentalism, equals to humanism. In the heart of Africa, where rivers sing, where the mountains and the sun rise in thunder, and where the eagles spread their wings and ascend. Reminisce to the strong spirits of the land. There is a call for unity, loud and clear, to stand together, near and far. The Pan-African dreams of a strong, bright land where all join forces, hand in hand, together we rise. With hope and pride under the sun where our hearts reside. But we must care for the earth, the air, the sea. For the trees and land, it's up to you and me. Protecting nature is our sacred task. For a better world, it's all we ask. For in every tree and every drop of rain lies our future, free from pain. To harm the earth is to harm us all. Without her gifts, we would all fall. Pan-Africanism, a vision so powerful, with environmentalism walking side by side. Together they lift the human spirit in every heart. They make us whole. Humanism calls for love and care, for justice, for kindness everywhere. It sees no borders, no race, no divide, but only the beauty of the world. So let us unite with a clear purpose for the earth, for each other, all we hold dear. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my poem. Our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Sudhir, who is also the consul to the Republic of Uganda from Nepal. He's the consul of Nepal to the Republic of Uganda. He's the chairman of the Portrayal group of companies. I thank you, sir, for accepting my invitation. You're very happy. The ambassador, who is in absentia, the ambassador of Cuba, she was supposed to be here with me, but she got a very urgent call to Burundi. She oversees Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi, but somebody is here who will take my message. Our keynote speaker, Bishop Joshua Marara III Mapo from Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for honoring my invitation today. My other special guest from Canada and America, Dr. Pierre Gaucho. This is my power. Hey man, bring my power here. I was given this is not a stick, this is power of authority. I was given this authority by a son of the late president of Uganda, and he's right there, Comrade Idi Amin Jafar. So when he saw what I was doing, he called me and he said, I trust you with the Pan-African agenda. He gave me this power. So when you are touching my power, do you want to take over from me? Our our special guest from Canada and America, Dr. Pierre Katsu Waka Waka. I thank you so much. The gentleman seated next to him is Comrade Ambassador Dr. Tony Jaja. Dr. Tony Jaja is the council member of the of the Worldwide Pan-African Movement. The Worldwide Pan-African Movement is a member of the Governing Council. He came from South Sudan, right, to take part in this event. So, ladies and gentlemen, our forefathers in Pan-Africanism knew we would have issues with protocols on events like this. So they made it very simple. They commanded us to simply use comrades. That would mean all the above categories and those that I have not mentioned. But also let me take the singular honor to appreciate the presence of my elder, my senior elder in Pan-Africanism, Dr. Grace Caballo. She's the Secretary General of the Pan-African Women Organization, PAO. but she's also a senior presidential advisor on special duties. So special duties means the president can call her and tell her, go and do this, go and do that. She has no specific role. They can't even tell her now go on the front line. Go to Congo, I want this. That's our lady there. Thank you so much, my senior elder, for accepting me. And also the work you've been doing in the background to really unite Africa and uniting all the Pan-African groups. There's so many Pan-African groups, but we need a junction. Yeah, we need a junction where we can all meet. So I thank Dr. Grace Kawaii. She has been that pillar. Let me also appreciate the presence of my brother, the Toro Crown Prince, Prince David Zanamo Marali, and the authorities for coming. My brother, Honorable Nestor, the Deputy RCC of Fort Portal City. I also want to thank for coming. I also thank Comrade James Kashea. That one is my comrade. James Kashea, he has recently been appointed the Deputy RCC of Hoima. Mr. James Kashea, stand up. So with your wife, I thank her for also always. I think the madam has done a very great job to Mr. Kashea. Kashea is a man, every Friday, sometimes he comes before me. I am the speaker, but Kashea comes here first. Every Friday for the debate. So yeah, he's a permanent panelist on the Pan-African Pyramid. My elder brother in Pan-African, Zafar Amin, Dada, he also welcome. My brother, the Deputy CEO of Next Media, Mr. George Goes, I thank you for coming, for honoring my invitation. Mr. George Goes is the Deputy Chairman or CEO of Next Media, but he's also the Vice Chairman of NAB, National Association of Broadcasters. He's the Vice Chairman, where I also sit as a member representing online media. I am the president of the online media and under Indota. So I sit on NAB executive committee, and so he's my boss. So when he comes, I'm very grateful. My brother, Chant Nebukar from UK, all the way from US. Yeah, came over just for this event. I want to thank all of you. How many are non-Ugandans who are here? You're not Ugandan, but you came for the event. You're Africans, of course. I know that. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. My brother, Lissafri Thomas, from France. When he landed here, I gave him another name. Me and Mr. Kashaya, we nicknamed him Mutatina. Hey. On behalf of the Pan-African Pyramid, ladies and gentlemen, we take this singular honor to thank you immensely for sparing time this evening to come and celebrate with us our 7th edition of the Pan-African Global Awards 2024 and the 10th anniversary. We don't take this for granted because we know that there are other equally important engagements you counseled and decided to honor us with your physical presence. We thank you so much. Dear comrades, a Nigerian great writer and philosopher, Chinua Achebe, once wrote that a man who calls his kinsmen to a feast doesn't do so to save them from starving. They all have food in their own homes. When we gather together in the moonlight village ground, it is not because of the moon. Every man can see in his own compound. So we come together because it's good for kinsmen to do so. We are gathered here tonight because we have a common cause, and that's the future of the Africa we want to bequeath our children and our children's children. Dear comrades, we gather here today in celebration of not just our achievements, but we've all shared vision, a vision rooted in the very essence of who we are as Africans and what we aspire to be as global citizens. And on this day, we come together to honor the spirit of Pan-Africanism, to reaffirm our commitment to the environment, and to reorganize the profound connection between these ideals and the core values of humanism. Pan-Africanism is more than a movement. It's the heartbeat of our continent. It represents our collective desire for unity, freedom, and progress. It is the belief that together we can overcome any challenge, build a future where every African can thrive, and create a world where the strength of our unity is our greatest asset. But as we strive for unity and progress, we must also recognize that our journey is deeply intertwined with the health of our environment. The rivers that flow through our lands, the mountains that touch the sky, the forests that breathe life into our world, these are not just natural resources, they are sacred elements of our shared heritage. They are the lifeblood of our continent, and they must be protected with the same vigor and passion with which we fight for our freedom and dignity. Environmentalism, then, is not a separate cause. It is an integral part of the Pan-African dream. It is the understanding that our well-being, our future, is inseparably linked to the health of our planet. We cannot achieve true progress if we neglect the land that sustains us, the air that fills our lungs, or the water that nourishes our bodies. To care for environment is to care for ourselves, our children, and the generations yet to come. And this brings us to the heart of our gathering today, the powerful convergence of Pan-Africanism, environmentalism, and humanism. Humanism calls on us to recognize the dignity, the worth, and the potential in every human being. It asks us to act with compassion, to seek justice, and to promote the well-being of all people, regardless of race, religion, or nationality. When we embrace Pan-Africanism and environmentalism, we are not just advocating for the future of Africa or the planet. We are upholding the principles of humanism. We are acknowledging that our struggles are interconnected, that our victories are shared, and that our fates are bound together. Pan-Africanism and environmentalism, when united, offer a path towards a just and sustainable future. A future where every person, every community, and every nation can flourish in harmony with the earth. This is the vision that we must hold on to, the mission that must guide our actions, and the legacy that we must leave behind. So let us move forward with determination and hope. Let us continue to build bridges of unity across our continent. Let us protect and restore the natural world that sustains us. And let us uphold the values of humanism in all that we do, knowing that in doing so, we are creating a better world for all. As we celebrate the achievements of today, let us also look to the future with a renewed sense of purpose. Let us pledge to work together across borders and boundaries to create a world where Pan-Africanism, environmentalism, and humanism stand as the pillars of a just, loving, and sustainable society. Pan-Africanism is an ideology and a movement that encourages the solidarity of Africans worldwide. It's based on the belief that unity is vital to economic, social, and political progress, and aims to unify and uplift people of African descent. The ideology is such that the fate of all African peoples and countries are intertwined. At its core, Pan-Africanism is the belief that African peoples, both on the continent and in diaspora, share not merely a common history, but a common destiny. But the Pan-African Pyramid is propagating for a new Pan-Africanism concept. Now this one is important. The new Pan-Africanism need not to be based on race, skin, and color, but ideology. It advocates for the unification of Africa by economic development and trans-African trade, and not by political actors only, but also by corporate business entities. Ladies and gentlemen, our forefathers in Pan-Africanism, talk about the Martin Luthers, the Malcolm X, and so on. At their time, they fused Pan-Africanism with racism. At that time, it was a mechanism to guard against the other people that were against them. So it was a race against a race. So if you were white, automatically you didn't like the black. And so also the blacks developed a hard skin if you are white, so they don't like you. So it was a fight between races. So immediately you meet a white man here, automatically without any reason he's your enemy. And vice versa. The white man sees you in America, yet actually he pulled you on trying to take you to America, but now when he meets you on the street, he looks at you as a dog. You know, he doesn't like you. Yet he's the one who pulled you there. He pulled you there. Now he doesn't want to see you. So they developed that mechanism to protect themselves. But right now, as we speak, that's not important now. That's why where we are here, Mr. Azar, we might have a difference in the skin, but Mr. Azar has contributed to Pan-Africanism concept, Pan-African agenda, so much. Look at Dr. Sudhir. That's what I'm saying. When you look at Dr. Sudhir, his contribution, one person alone, one person, his contribution in Uganda, in East Africa, in Africa, and in the world. You cannot start looking at his skin as an issue. If he was doing that, most of you have given birth to African children. They are your children, but they don't have jobs. So they go to him to give them jobs. Why don't you give them jobs? Why don't you, if you want to practice racism, let an Indian employ his Indians. Let the white man employ his white men. You also employ your African children. When it comes to jobs, you want to go to him and look for a job. Tomorrow you want to say this one is Indian, this one is white, this one is red, this one is black. No. We are one people. Sometime back, somebody told me, you know, and I was very annoyed. This is a very important person in the country. They were stealing. When you're going to Entebbe, I will say this, when you're going to Entebbe, there's that place called Cocoa Beach. You see? You see that? A general in the army wanted to steal that land. That land belongs to Azar. A black man, during COVID-19, wanted to solve his problems. He sold that land to the man. The man paid the money. After paying the money, the tenant who was there at that time when he was selling was black. This Azar here told the tenant, they have been demanding you 3 years, but I know the COVID. Don't pay. I'm also giving you 6 months. Don't pay. But use the 6 months to sort out yourself and leave. The black man used the 6 months to go and tinker with the documents, the titles, in lands in United. So this brother of his is trying really to give him a good time. He's using a good time to ensure that he defrauds him. After 6 months, before actually 6 months, the man comes and tells him, by the way, I'm not a tenant, I am the landlord. The man says, what? You're a landlord? The man says, I'm not alone, I'm the owner of this land. There. And he used those 6 months to befriend all the generals in Entebbe. You know, SFC, blah, blah, blah. They would drink free liquor there. So he created, you know, a number around him. So the man went to court. This Jaffa, he won the case. The man appealed. He went. Still, he won the appeal. Now, after winning the appeal, now the man decided to stay there by force. It's my land. See, you need to understand. So, he calls me, what's the problem here? I said, what's the matter? He takes me through. He had his lawyers, they're African. The lawyers are Africans. Grace, she's called Grace, her lawyer, his lawyer. So the lawyer took me through. I got all the documents. I called this man, he's called John. So when I called John, I said, John, this land is really not yours. He said, no, it's mine, man, it's mine. How? Because even the laws have said it's not yours. I said, no, we shall fight on. Hey. I said, okay. So, I am fierce. He started the war. He started the war. The man brought generals. Yeah, you remember too? He started the war. So one morning, police had given him an eviction order. We went there one morning at 6 a.m. We found that generals drinking. That for them, they have come to drink. They don't have to be disturbed. I called the general Kureti. He said, you know, General Kureti, a general is here drinking at 6 a.m. in somebody's land. Then he jumped over, he took photo and sent him. When he called him, he said, you man, those people have their disagreements. Why are you intervening in their problems? No, I find it. For me, I have to come to drink at 6 a.m. So the man ran away. When he ran away, this John calls me. He said, but Irumba, look, what kind of African are you? I said, why? How can you defend the Muhinda and me, your brother? You want me to leave this land? I said, okay, very good. Now, Mr. John, there are Ugandans in India who have land and Canada. Should I tell this Azad to tell his government also to confiscate that land? Let us just put logic. If you think that because this one is an Indian, he should not own his land, rightfully, should I tell this, because he also have a government, can I also ask him to tell his people in Canada to confiscate any person who has land and his name is not a Canadian? Does that make sense to you? Secondly, you know that there are many Ugandans here who have properties outside Uganda. Should I also tell them to? So I told him, John, we are not really fighting skill. No, I'm fighting injustice that is in you, in your skill. So please leave. The man left. You ask like that. He left. So, there is no need right now to continue looking at each other from the perspective of ideology. Do you agree that an African is a human being? If the answer is yes, then we can work together. Your race, your geographical boundary, your trade, your sex, doesn't matter. What matters is the weak link. And for me, I found a lot of good time working with people of different color from mine. They are very honest. If Dr. Sudhir says he will give you 1,000, tomorrow you don't need to remind him. He will give it to you. But they are in Uganda. He has promised you 1,000. Tomorrow you call him, he makes the phone busy. I am in a meeting. Yes, you're in a meeting, but you can send my money. 1,000 shillings. You call him again. He gives it to the PA. Tell me I'm in a meeting. Ugandans. But Dr. Sudhir, when he says A, it is A. We agreed that Dr. Sudhir will come here at 3. You know that 3 p.m. Dr. Sudhir was here. All of you, did I tell you I have to be at 3? Did I say I will be here at 3? The man was here. I looked a fool. He's the chief guest. He's coming to speak to, that mindset must change. So me, I've learned a lot from people of a different color but same ideology. I've learned a lot from them. I've learned. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, because conclude I must, we must leave this room tonight with renewed energies demanding for immediate unification of Africa.
One country.
United States of Africa, USA. This is what we need. Look. There are 54 countries in Africa. 55. Those are 55 country codes. Those are brothers and sisters. 55 country codes. 55 passports. 51? 55 passports. 55 country codes. Somebody in the middle is actually saying, for you to speak to Dr. Maponga, I'm in the middle here, you must pay me first. Because I'm not going to change your country code. But this is a weak man. Because all these companies in Africa are not owned by Africans. You get it? So someone is in the middle. For you to speak to your brother from the other end of Ghana, someone is in the middle, connecting you. Why can't you speak straight? America has how many country codes? You answer me. Are you sleeping? They beat you. How many country codes does America have? How many states does America have? 51. Eh? How many states does America have? 52. How many country codes do they have? How many country codes does UAE have? United Arab Emirates, how many? Now. How many country codes does UK have? UK. So you are here, you want to be like UK and America. America, Dr. Waka Waka, any part of America he is in, and my friend Nebukara, they speak freely. They move freely. Their train can take you from one state to another in 1 hour. Here, for me to reach Kenya here, he asked me, where are you going? Where am I going? Are you stupid? Where am I going? I'm in Uganda. I'm going to Kenya. I reached at the border, where are you going to Kirumba? Are you hopeless? In America, no, he's here. But my prince has been there. My prince was in the US for over 30 years. Did you need any visa for you to cross from one state of America to another? Please. Now in Africa, you need. Now, how are you going to compete, you guys? How are you going to compete? Because America is an amalgamation of many countries coming together. Why? To protect their interests. UK is an amalgamation of so many states. Why? Because together they can defend their resources. UAE, United Arab Emirates, same thing. Look at India. Africa is the biggest continent after India. You get it? Look at the size of India. One country code. Look at Africa. A district in Africa has a country code. A district. Look at Burundi and Rwanda. Look at them. You can even walk on foot in 1 day from Burundi to Rwanda, but there is a country code. And somebody say, please don't come here. Are you hopeless? So, we must leave this room tonight saying we need one United States of Africa as a country. One. And when you are here, you think it's difficult. No, it's not difficult. You begin by defining what stops you from going to Kenya. Let them arrest you. We will deal with them. Yesterday, he's here. Dr. Waka. The man jumped from America. He reached Johannesburg. They told him, no, you need a visa to go to Uganda. They stopped him. He sent me a message on WhatsApp. I said, oh, don't worry. I drove to Ministry of Internal Affairs. I sat there. I said, my guest is in South Africa. How can America allow him to come up to South Africa? And you, from South Africa to Uganda, you are denying him. What is the problem? Let him apply for visa. He applied. They said, sorry. The earliest we can give is 2nd September. He's here. 2nd September. That from South Africa to here takes him 3 days. I said, you are hopeless. I stood there. I said, the man must come here. After getting the visa for 2nd, I sat there. They had to clear him to come here last night, yesterday. Yesterday. He's here. We defied. Because at every step we would get stuck, he would be there, standing right there. He must come. He must come. He's coming home. Yes. He's coming home. Why are you stopping him? There is somebody in the middle. The very man that they left behind by the colonials, now there is an African, your brother, who is holding on to it because he's earning from it. Because he paid $50 for you to get the visa. You are stealing from your brother. So, we are blaming colonialists, they left, but the systems our own brothers are earning from them, so they cannot remove them. You get it? Because they are benefiting from them. These don't rely on these African leaders that they will unite Africa. No, they will not. You can do it. You can do it. Why? These African leaders, all of them, are in control of some small chiefdoms. If you are the president of Burundi, you think you are president. When they tell you, please unite with Rwanda, you say, now, I am the president. When you unite with Rwanda, you become an chairman or what? So you are asking him to unite, yet actually his interest as a person, he's benefiting from the disunity. But when you hear about the relying on him that he will unite Africa, he will not. All the 55 presidents of Africa, they will not help you to unite Africa. They will not. So it's going to take you, the citizens, the owners of the continent, the sons and daughters, to start defying those stupid things. Business entities, like the ones of Dr. Sudhir. I've worked in Britannia for so many years. I worked there before. They manufacture products from Kenya. They find themselves in Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. How come the products are moving, but the human beings cannot? No. I was in Entebbe Zoo, Entebbe, last month. In Entebbe Zoo, last month. The ED of Entebbe Zoo, Uwe, told me that there are birds which they were showing me. Oh, Hazrat Hadija was there. You're welcome. Hazrat Hadija. Say I was somewhere. You're welcome, Hazrat Hadija Zaid, ONC, Office of the National Chairman of NRL, Hazrat Hadija, my friend. Thank you. So, I was telling you, the ED of Uwe Ketele showed me birds. My brother, Zafar, this is very important. Birds, not human beings. Birds. During the winter season, flew from Europe and Asia, and they are here at Entebbe. Birds. Professor Charles Kwesiga, the ED of Yuri. You're welcome, Professor. So birds, they can fly from Europe and Asia and find homage in Africa, here in Entebbe. But human beings have put roadblocks. You know? When those birds came here, they found their mates and they simply went on. Life is okay. Now, how about Africans? How about you human beings? So, Africa must unite now, not tomorrow. We must do this by asking the sons and daughters of Africa to defying all colonial boundaries. Listen to this one. Start right now as we live here. Defying all the colonial boundaries, protocols, and the paperwork left behind by our colonial masters that continue to classify us as strangers in our own home. Africa is home. If I'm in Uganda, I'm in the sitting room, in the same home. When I want to go to the bed and bedroom and sleep, I could be in Kenya or Rwanda. Don't ask me where I'm going. I've been in the sitting room watching TV. Now I want to go and rest in the bedroom. That's Rwanda. Okay. So you must not ask people these very hopeless things. They were left by colonialists. We fought to them. We remained with them. So why are we holding on to them? Why? If we believe these are wrong things, these guys started in Berlin, the Berlin Conference, France, the country of Mr. Lissaf. You guys are very bad people. You start in France, not in Africa. Demarcated, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and then you give yourselves as if it's your cow. But now, up to now, we are saying the colonies are bad, but we have held very dearly some of the things that we are selfishly benefiting from. So it is you people to start defying those things. Look here. Egypt was the first African country to gain its independence from its former colony, UK. That was 1922. That's 102 years now. Speaking in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia on May 24th, 1963, at a meeting of 32 African heads of state and government, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah insisted that Africa must unite now. His historic well-reasoned call was ignored in favor of a weak organization of African Union, OAU. Decades later, the OAU was replaced with the current weak African Union, AU. At first it was OAU, now it is AU, which is exactly what Dr. Nkrumah had foreseen, a body controlled by the same imperialists who the African freedom fighters had fought to gain political independence. The people we fought to gain our political independence are the ones who built for us around a very beautiful AU African Union headquarters in Ethiopia. Do you get the point? I know that you get that. That the people we fought here, that they are colonists, when we wanted to gain our independence, they came and built for us the house where we can sit and speak things that actually help us to grow. The entire 55 countries could not manage to fund a building in Ethiopia. They don't have money. It's the weak money. They don't have money to build their headquarters, African Union. They don't have money, 55 countries, to build a house. Then after building it, now you say, you Chinese, you leave Africa. How will you live? How? This is because some leaders wanted to remind, this is because some leaders wanted to remind leaders of their small chiefdoms at the expense of the motherland. Time has come, we rise above petty domestic politics of our small chiefdoms and unite Africa now and protect our God-given wealth, the mineral resources, for the betterment of our motherland, Africa. I thank you very much, and may God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Before I leave, Madam Kasumba, the MC, allow me also use this opportunity to I want to thank our partner sponsors, the Fairway Hotel, NBS TV, Grow Foundation, Talent Africa, the Spy Uganda, and Detective UG. Those people have contributed immensely to ensure that we have what you are seeing here. Without them, I wouldn't have managed to pull it off. And of course, on these ones, I also add Dr. Sudhir. Sudhir Ruparelia supported us very much. I thank our tireless great team of young Pan-Africans who have made this possible. We are very grateful to each one of you who contributed financially and otherwise to the success of this event. Thank you for believing in us always. We thank you very much indeed. I'd like to thank our team here, our people, our young people here, these young Pan-Africans. Give them a big round of applause. Now, these are the people that are helping us to drive Africa and to drive the agenda. Our mission is that the youth, the young people, must take the mantle to free Africa. Don't rely on the old people. They did their part, please. The Kwame Nkrumah part, the Museveni that your age. Kwame Nkrumah couldn't. Martin Luther couldn't. You're in the bar, but you want a better Africa. Mandate to free. We must change our mindset. Thank you so much. I hope I have spoken something. Thank you.
Can Mr. Runda have another hearty round of applause? The founding speaker and chairman of Panafrican Pyramid, president of Independent Online Journalists Association of Uganda, CEO of Spy Uganda and Detective UG, and chairman of Nyabiri Foundation. Can you have another round of applause, please? He's brought up some very pertinent points. And I think one of those pertinent points, I touched on it earlier, free access all across Africa. It's really it boggles the mind when you cannot travel from one country to another. I was talking about buying an air ticket from Kampala to Accra can be more expensive than an air ticket from Kampala to Europe. That is absolutely unacceptable. And we can no longer blame someone else. We cannot say, oh, these lines were drawn during Leopold, whatever. That is long gone. We're now in power. That should have really, really changed. Another thing that I think was poignant that he talked about, the fact that Pan-Africanism is an ideology. It's not about the color of your skin. It's not about your ethnicity, your religious dispensation. It's about your ideology. Do you believe in Africa? Do you believe that we can make Africa great? And if you do believe that, and you believe that you can prosper Africa as a continent, you're welcome here. And I think that is very, very pertinent. Everybody has a right to Africa if they have Africa's interests at heart. And then finally, one of the most important things that he touched about was on issues to do with, I had mentioned it earlier on, Dr. Sudhir was the first person to arrive here. Yeah, I'm guilty as charged. I came in after that. But it shows you something, the importance of one's word. When Dr. Sudhir said he would be here at 3, he was here at 3. Now, this boils down, again, I know Irumba touched on it, but I think it's important to state that our African leaders, and all of you leaders in your various capacities, it's important for us to make not just Africa great, but to give our people a decent lifestyle. Let us put money in the pockets of our people. Dr. Sudhir can make it at 3 p.m. sharp because, with all due respect, he has the PA organized. The PA, Dr. Sudhir, is supposed to be here. They already inform him 30 minutes beforehand that you have to leave. He walks out, the Mercedes comes. The Mercedes is already fueled. The driver is already on standby. The iPad is presented to him. He's on his way to the meeting. What am I trying to say? That is not, it's not a dream. It's not a dream. He worked to have that lifestyle. As Africans, we must make sure that African people have a decent lifestyle. When you talked about the 1,000 shillings, the $1,000, I'll pay the $1,000 tomorrow. Why people say tomorrow is because the person before them has not paid them on time. What am I trying to say? When the founding fathers were creating America, they were very deliberate about the kind of country and continent they wanted. They wanted a continent where people had what they called the American dream. We can have the African dream, and we can attain that African dream. All of us can attain that African dream. Make sure that you take care of your brother. Make sure you give opportunities across the board. So long as we're Africans, let us give our brothers and sisters Ubuntu. Let us give them the opportunity. When you see a road that has to be made, yeah, maybe a tender that has to be provided, with all due respect. And there are various companies, some have come from New York, others have come from Brisbane, others have come from Denmark, with all due respect. And there's a company here in Uganda, owned by an African, be he Asian, be he African or Negroid, be he Caucasian, but he's of African, has been in Africa for a long time. Give that person the opportunity. When I go to China, it's China first. When you go to America, it's America first. So when we come to Africa, let's make Africa our #1 priority. Let's give our people a decent lifestyle. That's why then people will no longer have to go to Dubai for jobs, to work in Dubai, will no longer have to go across the channel on boats, lose their lives, when the irony of it, everything is on the continent. But without further ado, at this juncture, I'd just like to also recognize Hajit Hadija Namyalo, and she's head of the Office of the National Chairman. She's what they call the Chief Muzukulu and the Special Presidential Advisor on Political Affairs. Hajit, can you stand up and wave to us? If you want to talk to the president, that's Hajit. I would also like to recognize Professor Kwesiga Charles, the ED for Uganda Industrial Research Institute, URI. So, like I said, because we're still very much in discussions, one of the leading Pan-Africanists of the continent is President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, our president. You know, the president, for a long time, from 1986, he always used to talk about a unified Africa. And by the time when he was talking about a unified Africa, people didn't understand. He was talking about we can't do much unless we are unified. The president is the one who personally spearheaded the reintegration of the East African community, not so. He's the one who said, if you look at America, America's powerful because they have the population, they have the market. He said Uganda, as by then I think we were like 39 million, 40 million, yes or less. What can we do as a singular nation? But as a community, as an East African community, we can rule the world. Do you know that they're talking about the East African community as a superpower? The Great Lakes region as a superpower? We have over 110 million people. Over 110 million people in the East African region. We now have Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, South Sudan, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, Somalia. And Ethiopia is also come. We are powerful. We are powerful. Now when the United States picks up the phone to call President Museveni, he says, hello, I am talking from a community of over 200 million people. That is power. So we need to be strategic. So without further ado, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni did mention a lot about cultural leaders, the Liberian crisis, the Libyan crisis, and Pan-Africanism. Let's watch those clips. Thank you.
The African Union gave that committee the mandate to look for a solution for the Libyan problem. Now, on one occasion, I didn't go that time. These excellencies, this one here, Jacob Zuma, and the others, I was not there, but my minister was among them. They entered a plane in workshop in his place. They were going to Libya to mediate. And they were told by NATO to go back. Yes. Said, you go back. Yes, he's here. If I'm telling lies, African presidents on an African mission over African soil were ordered by NATO to go back. That NATO has not allowed them to land in Libya. Now, we call this in Swahili, dharau. Contempt. This is contempt. So now you can weigh yourselves now. Your presidents were ordered by NATO. 6 of them, not one. If it was only 7, then you will say. 6 excellencies, African excellencies, were ordered to go back. Over Africa.
I think there's also another clip. That clip was on, of course, the Libyan crisis. The Libyan crisis.
It's a shame
2011.
that the whole of the African countries is just asleep, waiting to be saved by others. If they don't save us, we shall die, like happened with the slave trade. How can this be? Slave trade went on here for 400 years. These idiot chiefs were here just putting on monkey skins and so on, looking like clowns. So therefore, this selfishness in the world is bad, but it's good. I like it because Africans. It wakes up Africans.
Can we have a round of applause, please?
It's a shame.
For those clips. And those clips, just to put them in context, the first clip was concerning the Libyan crisis. That was, if I can remember, 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And you can imagine 6 heads of state flying to Tripoli to try to perhaps create a ceasefire for then President Colonel Gaddafi. Yeah? And they were stopped by NATO. I'm not a politician. I'm not a politician, but that is extremely poignant on how Africa has to be in direct control of what it is that we do. So and that is unfortunately is our reality. The second clip was, that was a more recent clip. I think it was last year when the president was addressing, it was a function at Munyonyo, and he was addressing the issues to do with the slave trade. And you have understood exactly what his thoughts were on that. At this juncture, I'd like to call Mr. Andrew Irumba to officially launch the new hashtag theme, which we're supposed to launch right now. Please, if we can launch the hashtag in the advent of social media, so that whenever we talk about Pan-African matters, we can always mention that hashtag.
Sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, for me, I'm an actual man. In my speech, I've told you, from here, we need to start talking about uniting Africa. Uniting Africa, it should start now. From here, they start speaking one United States of Africa, USA. If you want to do business with Africa, speak to the leadership of Africa, and the leadership will be known. Just when I want to do business with America, there is one president. There is one president. When I want to do business with India, look at the size of India. There is one president, there is one leader, prime minister. When you want to do business with UAE, United Arab, there is a leadership. When you want to do business with UAE or European Union or UK, there is a leadership. In Africa, when I want to do business with any person, 54, I will have to negotiate with 55 presidents. 55. Now, Burundi will undervalue because Burundi is small. Then probably Kenya will say, give me this much. So you find that you are not at par. You cannot move together. So we are launching a new thing, slogan. I will invite my elders on this panel to join me, and then I will ask them to unveil what is here, and then from now, when they unveil it, we will count to three. When they unveil it, every time you're talking about Pan-Africanism, please hashtag uniting Africa by force now. Pan-Africanism. So I will invite the comrades, please. Let me also invite Hazrat Khadija Namiaro to join us here. Because you are representing the president, if I had the opportunity, the president would be here launching this. So since you are representing him, please. Thank you. So let us stand beside Dr. Sudhir, come. So, we are going to count up to 3. When we go to 0, wait. When we go to 0, you are divided. Okay, 3. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, 0. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be our new slogan. Hashtag uniting Africa when? Uniting Africa by force when? Not tomorrow. When? So can I hear you? Uniting Africa by force? Uniting Africa by force? I'm not hearing. Uniting Africa by force? Uniting Africa by force? Very good. Thank you so much. Round of applause. From here, please defy those colonial boundaries. Defy those paperworks. They are not important. Let them arrest you. We have already put up some lawyers to do that job. When they arrest you, we come. Yeah, we are serious. So, please, yes, I will ask you to kindly take your seat. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Can they have a round of applause, please? So now,
before you go, my elder, sorry, I've been reminded that you need to sign here. You need to sign. Michael, bring the mark. Michael. Some photo. Dr. Sudhir agrees that Africa must unite now. This is what it means. Not tomorrow, now. Africa must unite now. Dr. Sudhir agrees. Thank you. Now you can take your seat. The second one is Bishop Maponga, Joshua from Zimbabwe. Africa must unite when? Now. Bishop Maponga agrees. Very good. Thank you so much. You can take your seat. The third one, Dr. Grace Kabayo. Power. Dr. Stand beside you. Africa must unite when? Now. Dr. Grace Kabayo says it. So let me hear somebody saying next week from here. You will see me. Thank you, Dr. The third one, Dr. Waka Waka. Africa must unite when? Now. We want one country, United States of Africa. One. We want one control code. We want one shilling. One, not 54. Thank you, Doctor. And Hadza Tadija Nanyara. Thank you. Thank you so much. Round of applause. And finally, on behalf of South Sudanese, Dr. Tony Judge. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. My team can remove this. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you.
Can we have a round of applause, please? So the hashtag, so if you're tweeting today or if you're on social media today, it's hashtag Uniting Africa Now. Yeah, okay. Uniting Africa Now, Uniting Africa by Force Now. Now, so if you're stuck, if you happen to be stuck, maybe at a border point, maybe before you board an airline, and they tell you cannot come to Africa, you say Uniting Africa by Force Now. If they take you, say call Irumba. Call Irumba. If Irumba is not available, you say call Kasumba. Yeah. If Kasumba is not available, you say call Jaffa. Yeah. That means unity. Yeah. So it's Uniting Africa Now. By Force Now. Mr. Irumba, expect a call from maybe NATO, from every, but what am I trying to say? In life, you get what you bargain for. So when we tell people that we want a united Africa, and it's no longer cheap talk, and everybody is on the same page, people will start taking us seriously. At this juncture, let's have this opportunity to listen to our chief guest clip, Dr. Sudhir. In the clip will be his profile, and then we shall award our very own doctor for his support of Pan-Africanism, for the fantastic work that he's done, not just for his businesses, but for Uganda as well, and Africa as a whole. And of course, Dr. Sudhir is, for those of you who might not be resident in Uganda or East Africa, he is Uganda's, or East Africa's richest person according to Forbes. Yeah, to get on the Forbes list is no mean feat. So without further ado, can we kindly have that clip for Dr. Sudhir, please?
Excellency Dr. Sudhir is a Ugandan business magnate and investor. He is the chairman and majority shareholder. Are made in the banking, insurance, education, broadcasting, real estate, floriculture, hotels, and resort sectors. Ruparelia was born in Kabatoro, Kasese district in the western region of Uganda to an upper middle class Indian Gujarati family. Ruparelia fled to the United Kingdom with his parents in 1972 to seek asylum at the age of 16 when then Ugandan President Idi Amin Dada expelled all Asians from Uganda. As a young man in England, Ruparelia successfully established a number of small businesses before returning to Uganda in 1980s to take advantage of the improving political and business stability. In 1985, at the age of 29, he started Ruparelia Group as a small trading company with only $25,000 he returned with from UK as savings accumulated from several odd jobs he did, including working in factories, supermarkets, butcheries, and as a taxi driver in the UK. Sudhir became Uganda's first billionaire in 2014 and was East Africa's richest person, Africa's 28th, and his current bank was one of Uganda's top 3 banks in ranking after Centenary and Absa banks. As of November 2023, Sudhir is the wealthiest person in Uganda with an estimated net worth of over $1.2 billion. In February 2020, Ruparelia was appointed the Honorary Consul of the Republic of Nepal to Uganda by the President of Nepal, Bidya Devi Bandari. Sudhir now owns the largest domestic residence in East Africa with 130 square meters. In 2007, Ruparelia was awarded an honorary doctorate of laws degrees in business at Uganda Pentecostal University in recognition of his contribution to Uganda's economic growth. On October 9, 2013, Sudhir was awarded a Golden Jubilee Presidential Medal by President Museveni in recognition of his contribution to the growth of business and industry in Uganda as an industrialist. Having been expelled, Sudhir could have chosen to invest elsewhere. After all, he had got his capital in UK, not in Africa. But his love for Africa, having been born in Kasese, Western Uganda, he chose to come back and invest at home. Ruparelia is among the top taxpayers in Uganda according to URA and employs more than 10,000 people directly and over 12,500 indirectly, most of which African children, thereby significantly changing lives of millions of young Africans who also in turn change lives of their loved ones. Together with his ever-supportive wife Justina Ruparelia, they have 3 children, Rajiv Ruparelia, Mira Ruparelia, and Shina Ruparelia. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Lifetime Achiever Business Entrepreneur Award goes to His Excellency Dr. Sudhir Ruparelia.
Steady your mind now. Be part of people's Pan-African Parliament. The Pan-African Pyramid with your speaker and the Rumba Katusai.
This is the basis of a Brexit. It can't stand together anymore because the host is rejecting the parasite. And it's creating crisis throughout Europe and throughout the imperialist world. I think it's necessary, brothers and sisters, to say that there has been a natural trajectory by African people for closer union. We know that we're talking about having this discussion in part because in 1884-85, Europeans sat at a table in Berlin, Germany, not a single African there, and carved up Africa into the territories that we now sometimes call countries and illogically refer to as nations. Africans didn't do that. It was Europe that did that. It was Europe. So that the least of the interior could come we know it's true.
Steady your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusale. Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusale.
And there are Africans out there who see nothing wrong with what is happening. I beg to differ. There is something fundamentally wrong. Whoever controls what you think controls how you behave. And who controls what you read, controls what you think, and controls how you behave. And Africans need to start making themselves the subject of study. Africa can be studying the history of William Shakespeare, learning about the Bolsheviks, learning about the Western civilization, learning about the wars of World War I, World War II, learning about the genocides that happened in Germany. Don't we have enough genocides that have happened on Africa? Why is the African never proud to embrace his own history, to know where we are coming from? Maybe we can begin to know where we are going. It is critical at this hour of our own history. I hear other people talking about the ages of Aquarius, the ages of what. We're importing new theories again. Stop and shut up. Translate these theories. Look in your own African history. You will find that these theories are embedded and they are already in existence amongst our people. So we don't need to learn more about them, more than we need to know more about ourselves. I challenge every African pastor, every African theologian, every African politician, every African minister. Stop enforcing white colonial knowledge on the people. Liberate the people. Liberate the people. You cannot be standing as a pastor and you're the one who is supervising to see if every member has come to church in a tie. Supervising every member to make sure that they sing and they pray in English. And every time you pray in English, maybe that's why your prayers are never answered. The prayers are being answered in America and in Britain and in Europe. Start teaching people about themselves. Start teaching people about the Yeshua who grew up in Egypt, who danced with us, who ate with us, who lived with us. Start teaching people about the history of the Cushites, the history of the Nubians, the history of the Egyptians, the histories of Nelubale, the histories of Nigeria, the tribes of Africa, the languages of Africa, the mutis of Africa, spirituality of Africans, governance of Africans. Start educating the African person about himself.
Free your mind now.
Africa is the land of my ancestors. My name is Simon Senkai, a Ugandan, an African, who believes that the world has a place for us too. Young people in America, Europe, Asia, grow up talking and thinking about their country's dreams. They are taught and nurtured deep inside that the prevailing circumstances have nothing to do with their destiny. They are taught each time that the power to become anything in life is within them. Above all, they are reminded every day that what lies behind them and what lies before them are tiny matters compared to what lies within them. It is in this regard that they work hard every day of their time, regardless of the magnitude of the circumstances they face, to be the people they want to be. This is how they've been able to change their continents into the world's enemy. On the contrary, children in Africa are born on the other side of life. They are taught by nature to be submissive to the world, and they usually give in to those perceived to be strong. Our society doesn't give us anything to believe in, to dream about, to think about, and to live for and fight for. Our dreams are made small by circumstances, and this has seen majority adapting to the concept of survival. Every day I wake up in Africa, my television, my radio and newspapers and friends remind me that I live in a third world nation, found on a third world continent. This has forced many to deny their origin, refusing to accept that they are Africans and considering themselves different from others. It has further forced many to disintegrate into small groups of common interests, leaving the rest to grapple with challenges bigger than their capacity. It is today in Africa that you'll find nations refusing to come together as a continent to tackle our challenges, but instead remain selfish. Today people call themselves East Africans, West Africans, South Africans, North Africans, and Central Africans. We even ignore each other. What happened to the African dream? What happened to the African spirit? We don't forget one thing that binds us together. We are Africans at the end. Every day, ask myself, I'm sure you also ask yourself this question. Don't I have a dream to believe in as an African? I am told I live on a third world continent, which means I live a third world life, go to third world institutions and read third world information. And so my understanding is third world. We do politics of the third world, economics of the third world, and live a social life of the third world. I don't want you to care much about those calling you a third world citizen, for they know not about the power that within us. For I believe that my thinking, my understanding, my purpose and destiny are never third world, but first world. If this is true, then Africa must change into a first world continent, because you and I live today. This starts with you and I today at this very moment.
Okay, there ends our brief commercial break. We're going to, of course, like I said, to give a special award to our chief guest, Dr. Sudhir. Can we have his profile played again, please? Can we have his profile played again, please? Thank you.
His Excellency Dr. Sudhir is a Ugandan business magnate and investor. He is the chairman and majority shareholder in the Ruparelia Group of companies. His investments are mainly in the banking, insurance, education, broadcasting, real estate, floriculture, hotels, and resort sectors. Ruparelia was born in Kabatolo, Kasese district in the western region of Uganda to an upper middle class Indian Gujarati family. Ruparelia fled to the United Kingdom with his parents in 1972 to seek asylum at the age of 16 when then Ugandan President Idi Amin Dada expelled all Asians from Uganda. As a young man in England, Ruparelia successfully established a number of small businesses before returning to Uganda in the 1980s to take advantage of the improving political and business stability. In 1985, at the age of 29, he started Ruparelia Group as a small trading company with only $25,000 he returned with from UK as savings accumulated from several odd jobs he did, including working in factories, supermarkets, butcheries, and as a taxi driver in the UK. Sudhir became Uganda's first billionaire in 2014 and was East Africa's richest person, Africa's 28th, and his current bank was one of Uganda's top 3 banks in ranking after Centenary and Absa banks. As of November 2023, Sudhir is the wealthiest person in Uganda with an estimated net worth of over $1.2 billion. In February 2020, Ruparelia was appointed the Honorary Consul of the Republic of Nepal to Uganda by the President of Nepal, Vidya Devi Bhandari. Sudhir now owns the largest domestic residence in East Africa with 130 square meters. In 2007, Ruparelia was awarded an honorary doctorate of laws degrees in business at Uganda Pentecostal University in recognition of his contribution to Uganda's economic growth. On October 9, 2013, Sudhir was awarded a Golden Jubilee Presidential Medal by President Museveni in recognition of his contribution to the growth of business and industry in Uganda as an industrialist. Having been expelled, Sudhir could have chosen to invest elsewhere. After all, he had got his capital in UK, not in Africa. But his love for Africa, having been born in Kasese, Western Uganda, he chose to come back and invest at home. Ruparelia is among the top taxpayers in Uganda according to URA and employs more than 10,000 people directly and over 12,500 indirectly, most of which African children, thereby significantly changing lives of millions of young Africans who also in turn change lives of their loved ones. Together with his ever-supportive wife Justina Ruparelia, they have 3 children, Rajiv Ruparelia, Mira Ruparelia and Shina Ruparelia. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Lifetime Achiever Business Entrepreneur Award goes to His Excellency Dr. Sudhir Ruparelia.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very big round of applause. I will request my senior, my elder in Pan-Africanism, Bishop Joshua Maponga, will be joined by Madam Adija Huzea. If you could also come on the platform, so that one can give him the award, then the other will put a medal on him. I think on behalf of the President, Adija Namiaro can do that. Thank you so much. So Bishop Maponga, I will give him the card. It is me who gives this card. It is only me. Ladies and gentlemen, give Dr. Sudhir Ruparelia a very big round of applause. So now Dr. joins the club of Pan-Africans. You now become a permanent member, and your card is platinum card, Dr. Sudhir. Now you're a member of the Pan-African Pyramid, and you're holding a platinum membership card. This is the highest. Let us ask Madam Hazat Namiaro to put a medal in the name of Dr. Sudhir. Some photos? Dr. Sudhir.
Wow, what a moment, huh?
Oh, fella.
You know, somebody whose family came to Africa in 1897, landed in Mombasa, and reached Uganda in 1903. My father was born here in 1932. I'm born here. My children are born here. So we're 4 generations in Africa. And of course, we are lobbying when there's a new constitutional amendment in the country to include the Bahindi, as they call them, as a tribe. As a tribe. As a tribe. And recognize the tribe. You can't be in any nation 120 years and still being called a foreigner. Honestly. Last year, I was the largest individual taxpayer in the country. My real estate company was the largest taxpayer in the real estate business. And in the hotel as well, we're the largest taxpayers. So I don't know who's more Pan-African than. Anyway, but I'm only truly honored. And this is something very, very honorable to have been awarded, and I'm going to treasure it, and it's going to go next to my credit card, so it's always with me. And of course, Bishop and Madame Ajit, this is a big honor for me, and I'll continue to treasure it, and not only that, I'll also continue to support the Pan-African movement in Uganda, and many years to come. Anytime you need some, my advice or support, I'm always there. And it's a true honor for me to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. See you here.
Thank you. Let's go to the next one.
Thank you very much. Can Dr. Sudhir Ruparelia have another round of applause, please? As he goes to his seat, at this juncture, we're just waiting for Dr. Sudhir to take his seat. Then we'll call for the next award to be given. And I think what Dr. Sudhir Ruparelia said that was poignant is that once the constitution changes, it's important to lobby to have the Asian community as one of the tribes of Uganda for their contribution made. At this juncture, I'd like to call upon our next recipient. Our next recipient is the President of the Republic of Uganda, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for his contribution to the Pan-Africanism cause. The clip, please.
His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, is not only a pivotal figure in Uganda's history, but also a key father figure of an advocate for Pan-Africanism at an international level. Since ascending to power in 1986, he has consistently promoted the Pan-African agenda of the self-reliant United African sovereignty, positioning himself as a key voice in the Pan-African movement. Museveni's early exposure to the socio-political dynamics of Africa during the colonial and post-colonial period greatly influenced his ideological leaning. As an academic student in Tanzania and military training in Mozambique, he drew inspiration from African revolutionary leaders such as Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Jomo Kenyatta, among others. His involvement in the guerrilla war that brought him to power shaped his vision of liberating Uganda and Africa from neo-colonialism and imperialism, and has openly continued to speak against the West's cowboy colonial mentality of bullying African leaders and plundering of African resources while enriching themselves.
It's a shame that the whole of the African countries is just asleep, waiting to be saved by others. If they don't save us, we shall die, like happened with the slave trade. How can this be? Slave trade went on here for 400 years. These idiot chiefs were here just putting on monkey skins and so on, looking like clowns.
Museveni's leadership is deeply rooted in Pan-African ideals, with a few humanitarian challenges notwithstanding. He has consistently championed African unity and integration, emphasizing the importance of collaboration among African nations to address common challenges such as poverty, diseases, and underdevelopment. Under his leadership, Uganda has been an active participant in regional organizations such as the East African Community, the African Union, where he pushed for stronger political and economic ties across the African continent. Because of his leadership skills, Museveni is the current chairman to 120 world countries under their movement organization, the Non-Aligned Movement, having been overwhelmingly elected in January 2024 at the 19th Summit of the Non-Aligned Movement held in Kampala. Aligned with his Pan-African philosophy, Museveni has consistently advocated for economic self-reliance, value addition to African raw material resources and industries. Africa must stop exporting raw materials and instead export finished goods. He has repeatedly said, adding thus, African nations must reduce their reliance on foreign aid and pursue homegrown solutions to African challenges. Under President Museveni's leadership, Uganda has been commended for successfully championing the fight against man-made pandemics such as HIV and AIDS, Ebola, and COVID-19. President Museveni has also been commended for his affirmative action programs for women emancipation, especially at the time when he had a female president, Dr. Special Zawandera Kazibe, for nearly a decade, and has done much to encourage women to pursue education. His current Vice President, current Prime Minister, among others, is another example for women participation in national leadership under his word. Museveni has also been applauded by the righteous-minded world leaders for promoting African children when he stood his ground and signed the anti-homosexuality bill into law, criminalizing anti-human behaviors that aim at destroying African society. Because of Museveni and the parliament, Uganda is now used as a benchmark by many world countries who seek to deal with the ugly monster.
We have been disappointed for a long time by the conduct of the West, the way you conduct yourselves there. But we just keep quiet. We just see how you do things, how the families, how they are organized, all these things. We see them, we keep quiet. We never comment because it's not our country. Maybe you like it. So, since there is now an attempt at social imperialism to impose social values of one group on our society, our disappointment is now exacerbated because we are sorry to see that you live the way you live. But we keep quiet about it. Now you say you must also live like us. That's why we say no. We say no. And Am I worried? Not at all. We should be worried about what? Because to tango needs two people to dance. If the West doesn't want to work with us because of homosexuals, then we have enough space here to live by ourselves and do business with other people.
Leadership has also prioritized regional trade, infrastructure development, and industrialization as key strategies for achieving economic independence for Uganda and Africa as a whole. Museveni's commitment to Pan-Africanism is also reflected in his role as a mediator and peacekeeper in various regional conflicts. He has been instrumental in brokering peace agreements in countries such as Sudan, South Sudan, Kenya, Somalia, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, viewing regional stability as essential for the continent's progress. His efforts in promoting African solutions to African problems have earned him recognition as a statesman dedicated to Pan-African solidarity, filling the gap left by Colonel Muhammad who was killed by America because of working to unite Africa. Beyond politics and economics, Museveni has emphasized the importance of African culture, traditions, and identity in the Pan-African discourse. He has encouraged the revival and preservation of African languages, traditions, and values, arguing that cultural heritage is crucial for Africa's development. Museveni remains a significant figure in Pan-Africanist movement, advocating for a strong, united, and prosperous Africa that can assert its place on the global stage. As a leader who has navigated the complexities of the post-colonial Africa, President Museveni has been honored several prestigious awards that recognizes his immense contribution to Pan-African regional stability and African unity. These include the African Union's African Peace Award in 2018, the Julius Nyerere Peace and Security Award in 2016, the African Leadership Excellence Award in 2017, the Pan-African Movement Lifetime Achievement Award in 2013, the Order of the Champions of Oliver Tambo in 2017, and Kwame Nkrumah Africa Leadership Award in 2019, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, let's honor President Museveni's contributions in the development of Africa with a standing ovation as he receives this year's African Revolutionary Leader of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for a Pan-African in Uganda and Africa, President Museveni is one of them. We have profiled what he has done, not what you think he should have done. I want to be clear. I know some of you are going to speak a lot of things. I have profiled President Museveni for what he has done, what he has achieved. You may have a different opinion, but tell me any lie that I have spoken there about him. So that's the reason we have awarded him. So you can have other opinion, I don't mind. But for me, there are people who say Nelson Mandela betrayed South Africa. Because up to now, 67% of the land is still in the hands of the white people. There are those who say, yeah, that's correct, but Mandela also did something. So we appreciate him for what he has done, not what you think he has not done. You also do it. You also do your part. I will invite Hazrat Hadija Namiaro to receive this award on behalf of the president, because she is the owner of the office where president should be sitting. It is Hadija who sits there. And then I will request Dr. Sudhir to be the one to hand over this award to Hazrat Namiaro. And then my elder, my mentor, Dr. Grace Caballo, also, she will grace the medal. No, they don't grace the medal. She will just hand it over to you, because it's not you as well. So you bring the picture and it over to ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause. Thank you. That is, we appreciate the Pan-African agenda that President Museveni has worked on. President Museveni told the whites
we don't want LGBTQ in Uganda. When he's the president, but there are those who do not even have a decision when they have not even yet taken power. So what about when you take power? What about when you take power? Museveni has stood on his ground and said, we don't want LGBTQ. And because of that, they have cut aid for his country, for his government. And he's okay with that. But there are those I see, they have not yet taken power. But when you ask him, please tell us, do you support LGBT? He said, let me come back. Now, if you cannot speak right now for your people, what about when you take power and there is billions of money you are going to lose if you say, I don't support? What about that? So, we commend him for standing on his ground and say, this is not good for my people, this one I can tolerate, this one I cannot tolerate. Thank you. Dr. Grace?
Thank you very much, Comrade Irumba. I don't know how many awards our president deserves. And I'm one of those very lucky ones who joined Pan-Africanism when I was still a student. And he was going down south to Mozambique, Frelimo, from NASA to fight apartheid. When we talk about Pan-Africanism, some people think it's a joke. But some people have lived true Pan-Africanism and true solidarity. And that is none other than our president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And with this, Comrade Hajati Namiaro, you can't wear it. Neither can I, nor can Irumba. But we trust you to deliver. And tell him these are just small tokens because he deserves much, much more. And thank you so much. Aluta continua.